In today's video, I'm talking about seller paid closing costs and why a seller might want to give them to a buyer. Stay tuned. Welcome to my channel. I'm Kern, the singing realtor. Welcome home! And I go over real estate related topics in the Des Moines, Iowa metro every week. So if you're interested, be sure and subscribe and ring that bell. Seller paid closing costs. What are they and why would a seller want to graciously give them to a buyer? If you want the full scope of all the costs involved in selling a house, check out a video I did recently, how much it costs to sell a house. I go into everything from your mortgage to your property taxes to broker commissions to all those miscellaneous fees, including buyer credits, which is what I'm mainly going to talk about today. In Des Moines, we call them seller paid closing costs. FHA, the Federal Housing Authority, loans backed by FHA, you can actually give from a seller to a buyer up to 6% of the price of the house. That's a lot of money. That's like the same as a broker commission. So why would a seller want to give a buyer seller paid closing costs? You mean you want to buy my house and you want a piece of my equity? What? Yes, I know what you're thinking. Why would a seller want to give up a portion of their equity or their proceeds to the buyer? No, 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 no. No, no, no. If you stay tuned until the end, I'll give a pro tip for sellers, how they can minimize their loss and maximize their proceeds. The main reason that sellers give buyers closing costs at closing is it widens the seller's buyer pool. Not everyone has 10 to 20% to put down on a home. They actually need help with cash at closing. So sellers will oftentimes give or pay closing costs for the buyer at closing. This can help a buyer have enough cash. It can also help them lower their interest rate by down points in order to make the payment affordable over time, therefore making them a viable buyer. It can also reduce the cost of origination fees that the lender has. Many first-time home buyers may not have the 10 or 20% to put down, or even 5% in order to verify and purchase a home. However, they can qualify for a loan in terms of their income and their debt-to-income ratio, or they can demonstrate rental history. So sellers will pay closing costs to help that buyer get to the closing table. A wonderful friend of mine, Barb Wasmansky, a longtime loan officer, taught me all this when I was a brand new agent. And I've actually been able to get buyers closing costs paid by sellers, and with tax credits, since taxes are paid in arrears here in Iowa, and other grant programs, I've actually had buyers get money back at the closing table. So I hope that helps understand why sellers will give up some of their proceeds in order to help a buyer out graciously get to the closing table. I hope you found today's video useful and helpful. As I mentioned earlier, check out the video, how much does it cost to sell a house? And if you are interested, please subscribe to the channel, give a like, make a comment. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Have a blessed day. Oh, did you think I'd forget that pro tip? So the pro tip, sellers, is especially if you're brand new to the market and you're getting an offer, if it's a hot seller's market, or even if you've been on the market for a little while and it's still like within a reasonable time frame to receive an offer, you can always take those seller paid closing costs that that buyer is asking for, and you can put it on top of your list price. So let's say your list price is $200,000 and the buyer needs $5,000 in seller paid closing costs. You can make the price of the house $205,000, pay them the closing costs at the closing table, and still preserve your proceeds. Now the only challenge with that is you got to make sure that the property will appraise. Most buyers, when they're asking for closing costs, it's usually around $3,000, sometimes $1,500. it can be as high as $5,000, and that really depends on the credit worthiness of the buyer. So I hope that pro tip helped.